diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 382 of Fourth and Jawn. I am Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn, and tonight we're talking about the Eagles Cowboys preview. Eagles Cowboys. If I got to tell you that it's Eagles Cowboys week, you're really not a fan, because this is the most hated rival that we have. You can say the word Cowboys, and fans just get sick to their stomach. It's Dallas week. Sometimes you don't even have to say anything. Like, so if you're not fired up, amped up, they lock the champ up, I don't know what to tell you, because you're not a real fan if you're not fired up. I'm excited. I'm really excited. There's a lot going on in the city right now. Shout out to the London crew coming in with Philly Sports Trips with their trip Birds Fly Home. Some of us are gonna be down to the link, giving them a tour of the stadium. So I think that's awesome for them. But what's awesome for us is we get to talk about the Eagles. I know you're fired up, Ed.
I'm geeked up, bro. I'm geeked up.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to address it is episode 384, pal, not 382. I just don't want people to turn it off and skip the next episode when you open up like that.
Did I say that?
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We're moving on. We're moving on to better things. So it's Dallas week, like you said, dude. And I'm gonna be honest. I am a little bit shocked. I am appalled at what I've been hearing on the radio this week. I'm a big time sports radio listener. And, a lot of the conversation this week is talking about how it feels like the Cowboys rivalry is dead. And I just don't know where these guys are looking. I'm not sure what they're listening to, because I got to be honest, as soon as that game ended that the Eagles just played against Washington, immediately I was turned on to Dallas week, man. I was sitting here looking at the schedule and I'm like, dude, this is Dak versus Hurts. This is for to give us some nice cushion in the division as far as seeding is concerned. I'm fucking amped up, bro. Like, I think that this is the biggest game of the year so far. And anyone that tells me otherwise, I just kind of look at them sideways.
Like you talking about.
That'll be my problem.
As soon as the clock struck zero, I know a lot of Eagle fans in DC, well, not DC, in Maryland, wherever they play at. They were like, "We're going to Cowboys," and it's here. Like, there's a lot to get into. Shout out to all the people in the comments section. We see them on the road in tailgates.
Mark Bird in the city limits.
Mark! Shout out to Mark. He's going on the tour tomorrow.
Very nice.
So he made the list. So I mean, if there's anyone else, we might bring someone else on the tour of the link tomorrow.
That would be
cool. So we might have a spot for one more person if you guys are interested in touring the link. I have problems. I've been many times. I just never get enough of it.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? What did he say?
I mean, you're skipping Tim Hayes. I think he is. When you were in college playing, elite college wide receiver, were you ever known as Always Open Saunders, or is that just an AJ Brown thing?
I was Gale Force Wins.
Gale Force Wins. I actually like that a lot.
I had Rocket Man. But that's about it, man.
I didn't have any cool nicknames.
Psychedelic, huh?
It's because of the psychedelic steaks, pal.
People are geeked up. We're getting texts from what time is the tailgate starting? We are tailgating out there. I believe the gates open at 9:25. So I had to get the tailgate.
Is that right? I've been telling people like 10 o'clock. So,
the gates opening. But I said we could start at 10:30. Give us
I'm
some
just
time.
trying to figure out. We're gonna have to figure out if the gates are opening at 9:25. I'm gonna have to be down there at 9:25 because I'm not pushing a grill all the way up Patterson Ave again. It's just not happening.
And it's Dallas week again.
Dallas
We
week.
can't stress enough. It's Dallas week. But
And
talking,
keep in mind too, the anyone that is frequent tailgaters like ourselves. Last year things started to get hectic towards the end of the year as far as getting into the lots and all that stuff. That all started with Dallas week. That Dallas game last year, the lots were pretty much full by the time they said that they were open. So just keep that in mind.
this guy that updates you on medicals and now parking
Parking
situations.
lot situations.
Parking lot pimping.
And if anyone needs any bathroom information, also your guy.
Also your guy. So let's get into the game. I mean, it just at the end of the day, it's we cannot take Dallas lightly. I sat in MetLife Stadium. Not that I'm not saying that I took the Jets lightly as a fan. I mean, some fans did. I don't know if our team actually took them lightly, but we lost to the Jets. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not feeling confident. I'm feeling very confident because at the end of the day, people talk about a Miami Dolphins team who was putting 70 on the board, but when you have to come and play the Philadelphia Eagles at home with a rabid stadium, this is the perfect time to, I would say we are Dallas Cowboys litmus test.
I think that's a good way of putting it. I think that looking at it just on the other side of the ball, I would say that a lot of Dallas fans would be saying that we're they're our litmus test as well.
I'm trying not to give them some juice right now.
No, I got you.
But I agree.
Speaking of juice, I mean, do you want to jump into what we talked about earlier? Is it a bad omen to fuck with the Rocky statue, bro?
I think that was in days of past. Okay. I don't know if you seen it on socials. We got a tip. Someone sent us a photo of a Dallas Sucks chain on the Rocky statue. We posted it, and some people were like, "Did you do that?" I was like, "No, we didn't do that. People just send us stuff." Sports Center just hit me up. ESPN just hit us up. And they said, "Do you have rights to that photo that you posted? Because we would like to use it on all socials and whatever." And I was like,
"You said what was that? Toby Maguire? Show me the money."
So I said, wherever we got the tip from, I said, it's your photo. You should get rights to that. I'm not you sent it to us. So hopefully that gets all over socials. But again, there's a lot of people that are in their feels about the Rocky statue. But again, it's all in good fun. I'm confident about the team and what they're going to do on the field.
Exactly.
Not in the cosmic world. I'm thinking about the team, what they're going to do. We've seen I'm going to be honest. We have seen a Eagles team that hasn't peaked yet.
Yeah.
There's the peak in high school guy. Well, the Eagles aren't the peak in high school guy yet. They could blossom at any week. We haven't seen a complete game from the squad. So I think this week would be the perfect day. To peak.
And there's a lot of factors that we can go into as far as that. But one of the first things that I think about is our boy Cam Jurgens coming back, man. Some of that beef jerky. Sua Opeta has had his lumps, I would say, in filling in. And to have Cam Jurgens back out there, I'm going to feel a lot more confident. What about you?
I'm feeling really confident. I think it's a perfect time for him to come back. I'm really hoping that Jalen Carter is ready to go and rock out this week. This is a perfect time for him to put Dak Prescott on notice. I think, overall, I think it would be cool to see him G off. Mark says
ESPN over here.
Kevin Nagandi gave me a shout out for Phillies customs. He finally got them. Too bad the Phillies are not. Yeah. But shout out to Kevin Nagandi. He's a diehard Eagles fan, Philly fan.
That's one way of describing him.
A sports fan. He loves some sports. He works at ESPN. Natalia says, "Go Birds." She's feeling the Eagles right now.
Hell yeah.
So I got some notes here. I got some notes. I'm gonna again. I think Evan's a realist. I have to I always try to keep it real. It is what it is. We have to talk about it, so we're gonna have to talk about it. Let's start with the Cowboys. They lead the NFL with 4 defensive touchdowns. That is the most through 7 games in the Cowboys' entire history. The Cowboys have 9 interceptions on the year. That is tied for 3rd in the NFL. The defense has helped the team to a +6 turnover margin, tied for 4th in the league. And we talked about turnovers, and we talked about Jalen Hurts committing said turnovers. Some of the fumbles, whether it be Kenneth Gainwell or Dallas Scott or fumble. We've had turnovers here, but we really have to, against a defense like this, limit the turnovers and make them work for their stuff. Because you talk about Deron Bland, who's got 3 pick sixes on the season. 1 more would be a record.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall, I think Jalen Hurts, versus this secondary, I really need him to limit the turnovers, be smart with the football. So I mean, what are your feelings about Jalen Hurts?
I mean, in the way of being a realist, like how you laid it out there, you kind of have to give a little hat tip to De'Aaron Bland, just how he's filled in with Trayvon Diggs going down this year. I mean, that was supposed to be the Diggs and Gilmore, cornerback secondary of that team. And for Bland to fill in the way he has, I mean, 3 pick sixes, the man is playing very well. I'm very interested, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about how you think they deploy those cornerbacks, because first thing I thought of is that, like, if De'Aaron Bland is their top guy, are they going to put him on A.J. Brown? And if that's the case, then is Smitty going to be covered by Stephon Gilmore? And the reason I bring that up is, you remember the clip that Richard Sherman put out months ago where he's talking about, Devontae Smith was really that player that made Richard Sherman realize that he doesn't have the speed to keep up in this league anymore. So I'm saying, listen, he did it to a Hall of Fame corner in Richard Sherman. Stephon Gilmore, what's he, like 33 years old?
In a Tybo class?
In a Tybo class? I'm just saying that Devontae Smith, route god, could potentially have his way with Stephon Gilmore if that's the way they plan on deploying it. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a perfect opportunity for, also a Goddard game. I know AJ would love a Goddard game, as she's in the comments already. Goddard week. She's steady with the love for Goddard. I think that's exactly where I think Goddard needs to get fired up. Even Cowboy fans have mentioned I'm not going to even make up words, but how he's been underutilized, or the utilization of Dallas Goedert has been lacking. So I think, the last couple of games we've seen them make an effort to get him the ball. But I think Dallas Goedert, I think Devontae Smith has a great opportunity to ball out this week.
How do you, going back to my question, if you're the Cowboys, how would you line up your corners versus our wide receivers? Who would you stick on who?
All right, let's see. I don't even know. But my thing is, because you're not stopping AJ. You're
gonna have to double AJ. But I'm thinking you almost double AJ with Stephon Gilmore and some safety help, and then you have Bland on Smith. I think that's how I would play it if I were the Cowboys. But
we'll see. I'm feeling very confident that we should be able to continue our slant damage that we've been doing all season long.
With both corners taken care of, is this room for Julio Jones to have make a big play?
I mean, look at their safeties, Malik Hooker. I think you could definitely take advantage of him. Jaron Curse. I mean, they're a sound group, though. They are.
They're going to be able to. I mean, they're going to be able to create pressure. Having Micah Parsons. I mean, he's their best player on the team. Arguably one of the top. Not arguably, he's one of the top defensive players in the NFL. But do you see? I think that Lane Johnson has had a good record against him. Do you see the same sort of success?
I think he's been an eraser when he's had those moments. But last time that we played at home, we took Micah Parsons out of the equation by actually not trying to block him. We were using some play action, that play where we had A.J. Brown coming in motion. We actually ran it like twice against them, leaving him unblocked, doing creative things, running at him. I think, overall, I think Lane Johnson versus Micah Parsons is going to be a thing. I think also you can't forget about DeMarcus Lawrence, who's been a steady Eddie for those guys. I think overall, their edge
I
play.
forget about DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
Got Jordan Mailata. I don't.
A lot of people forget about DeMarcus Lawrence because we talk about Micah Parsons so much.
Mm-hmm.
They have Dante Fowler coming up behind him. We have Dorrance Armstrong up the middle. Mozzie Smith, we have, who's they were beating their chest with talking about Mozzie Smith.
He's gonna kick Kelsey's ass.
Odigizua and Jonathan Hankins. We know him from his time with the Giants. Mm-hmm. So I think they do have a strong back end, and I think overall, I think their defense
and their defensive coordinator overall. Like I
like him.
Quinn.
No, I do like him.
Defensive coordinator.
him. Let's talk about let's see. We got some numbers here, which is talking about their defense here while we're on their defense right now. Cowboys are ranked 287.4 yards they're giving up. That's third in the league total defense. Eagles are seventh at 313 yards. A lot of passing yards we're giving up, especially the Howell. Got to put up some numbers. Total offense here. Cowboys are putting up 338 yards per game versus the Eagles at 387.4. We're third. Their offense is 15th. They've had some issues with some injuries. Smith has been injured. He had a stinger, missed last week. They put in their backup, and he got an ankle injury. So they had like a fifth round pick out there, putting in work, but not putting in work. But Tyron Smith can get injured at any moment. Last year, I was on Philly 500 show. We talked about the injury-prone offensive line of the Cowboys, and within 1 hour, Tyron Smith got hurt. So it happens. You never know when Tyron Smith. He's got a long line of injury history. So I think there is going to be. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Should I keep on pumping up the Cowboys?
I think you stop it right there. I also want to just bring up the Cowboys. I feel like it's been a tale of two teams this entire season. They've had their fair share of blowout wins, and then they've also had their fair share of embarrassment. Do you think that this? I don't want to call them. I'm not trying to to underestimate them or anything like that. But do you think that there's some flimsiness in this team? Coughing up one to the Cardinals. I think that's the Cardinals still their only win so far this year. Absolutely getting blasted on primetime versus the 49ers.
We watched that one.
Yeah, we watched that one together. Do you think that this team is kind of like they either show up for the moment or they're completely non-existent?
I'm really not sure where they are at. Like this, I feel like from listening to a lot of Dallas beats or like content creators, they felt like this was like the get right game for them, where they saw their offense, facilitating nicely on the field. CeeDee Lamb, the connection with CeeDee, I don't think he had 10 plus catches, 120 and a touchdown. That their relationship with him and Dak Prescott seemed to be on, so the offense was clicking. So they feel like the offense is back to where they think it should be. Then I've seen other realists, as in former Cowboy players on like podcasts, saying that like, hey, it was the Rams. You're playing the Eagles this week. So it's a little bit of I don't even think some of these guys know
what to think of their
exactly
teams.
what they, like I said, I feel like this is the litmus test for them to really see what they're made of. Because I mean, again, it's rivalry week. I mean, if
Right.
I'm not going to even speak that in existence, but I'm just saying, like, for the Eagles, this is marked on the calendar of every person at NovaCare. So you got to get this dub. So I mean, it's
take me to the moment. I mean, Eagles win the coin toss. You taking or deferring?
I think I might take the Rock.
Try and get points up on the board first.
Just set the tone.
If you take it, I think that you need to score. You need to put points up that first drive. Otherwise, you're handing the ball back to them, and then they're also getting it at halftime. So,
shout out to Mr. Eiffel. Says no Tyron Smith means Hassan eats. Tim says is Steen starting this week? I think Cam Jurgens is. They haven't said that he's. I believe he should be going this week.
Yeah, I think Cam Jurgens will be back.
Malata said he's very impatient. He's been very impatient. That's what Malata said.
That's what about Jurgens, you mean?
Yeah, he's been very impatient. He wants to play ASAP. So
Adam says he's got to be honest. The combination of Sidney Brown and Eli Ricks guarding CeeDee Lamb in the slot has him a little bit concerned. I mean, that would have me concerned too. I don't see that being the matchup on CD personally.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to try and move him around, but I do think going back and watching the tape on Sidney in the slot, it's like I said, like I watched Sidney Brown at Senior Bowl on Tank Dell, and Tank Dell was a twitched up guy, but where this is next level, and it's just gonna be tough. It'll be interesting, like, and then the Eli Ricks hype is so gigantic, mostly on Twitter. He's starting. Steen is starting.
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Wow. Shout out to Dustin with the
breaking news.
That's interesting. I mean, unless they don't think he's ready to go.
Based on practice today. So this is from Dave Zingaro 2 hours ago at 4:22. Okay. Based on practice today and talking to players in the locker room, there seems to be a very strong chance we see rookie Tyler Steen at right guard on Sunday against the Cowboys.
Interesting.
So it's not confirmed. It's just a feeling.
So Dustin has a feeling.
I mean, so does Dave Zingaro.
And Dave has a feeling.
Yep.
Okay. The 21-day window period was opened recently, so that is what it is. Kelly is beating his chest right now. He said, we have to run the ball religiously. They're going to put Parsons over every lineman. I can see them putting him over Jurgens for the first game back. I do. I just deleted our run the ball tomato pie because I've been.
You feel like you've been dropping it too much?
I've been just beating that into existence, but we do gotta. we do gotta run the ball. I mean, again, like stay balanced, stay high flying, but stay balanced.
Quick sidebar. I saw a chart today that was just putting out running back efficiency across the league. Take a stab at who was like coming in like dead last
in efficiency. Kenneth Gainwell,
Miles Sanders.
Oh yeah, Chuba got the start over him. I seen a Miles Sanders clip, and I didn't even. It just sad tuba was going off.
What was happening?
Sad tuba or trumpet, whatever brass instrument you want to say. It was pretty much, and again, I appreciate everything he did for us. I just feel bad. Not that I even feel bad because the guy got paid. But I just feel
like it's kind of leading me to my point of, do you think that specifically on this team that the offensive lineman makes the running back rather than the running back making the offensive line?
I think it always does. That's why running backs who win rushing titles give their linemen, little Rolex or something. He had his best year last year, but I always feel like with the way that we're set up, you should be succeeding. You should be like
Well, Stoutland's not just the offensive line coach. He's also the run game coordinator.
Run game coordinator. So you bet to coordinate Stout. This would be a good game to coordinate.
Levels
to this. Levels to this. Let's see here. I think my brain just went as I try to read a comment and talk at the same time. Drew says, so what is the Bradbury experiment? Can we keep him at where he's best? I do think people were talking about moving him in slot.
That would be the experiment, right?
Because,
he's been playing outside corner.
My New York Giant friends would always chime in and say, Bradbury has problems with twitchy guys. I'm like, yeah, we're seeing that. Yeah. Like that's just is what it is. But my thing is with I seen a lot of clickbait on Twitter in terms of saying that Bradbury and Slay were the Darrelle Revis in KC version of their career. I mean, it's like if you look at their especially Slay, come on, that is the level of disrespect that I can't stand when you don't need to get clicks off.
I agree with you, but I will say that last year, I mean, Bradbury was a second team All-Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, can we just call it regression? Or what?
I'm
he
just
has
saying,
not played to that level.
I would just say an up and down season.
Okay.
Because if he would have picked off a pass last week in Washington, that would have been like, whoa, But again, and then you also have to look at injuries. We just talked about Slay having an injury. Mm-hmm. So just like last season, he had an injury last season that he was playing through that not everyone was talking about. But it is what players are going to get hurt or injured. Shout out to Hollis. If you're hurt, players play hurt. It's a long season.
Quote movies again.
It's a long season. Trey says, I like Ricks on Lamb. Let Bradbury and Slay have the sideline to help. True.
Ricks on Lamb.
George is hype. Go Birds. I'm feeling the energy from George. Jay chimes in, when they're in cover 2, there's no reason they can't tighten up the coverage. If you're going to tighten up the coverage, you get a hand on them. Don't play press and then not press.
Yeah.
Dustin chimes in. Roby on the injury report did not practice today. I don't think he's going to be back this week. So that's
how long has he been out now?
He has a pec injury.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like he should have just been on the IR, honestly.
Come on, guy. Come on. Keith says balanced attack, but we throwing it around the yard. That's what I'm saying. As much as I like to see him chuck it up. I think my thing is, sometimes you just have to keep them honest, and you have to let your offensive line beat them up a little bit instead of getting beat up a little bit because you're taking on blocks.
Yeah.
Versus dishing out some pain. But Keith says he likes the way that we're throwing the rock around. I mean, AJ Brown.
Dude, he's been having an amazing season. He's having a career year, and the steam that he's playing with right now, he is just playing at a different level. So I think that when all things are looking south, you got to look to your playmakers. You got to get the ball in the hands of the guys that make a difference on the team. And I'd be trying to get AJ the ball as much as possible.
Drew says that some compare Eli Ricks to a young Bradbury, but a little more twitchy. He's more suited for outside from myself. I think Eli Ricks is making a name for himself.
100%.
When we were talking about in training camp, he was flashing.
He was, but
he was making plays.
Listen, I think that with players like that are showing that he's still, you have to keep in your mind, he's an undrafted free agent, and I'm not saying that he is incapable of doing anything. I'm simply saying is that you need to ease him into these situations. We saw firsthand a first round cornerback. I think one of the Was he the first corner taken? No, he wasn't the first corner taken. But Emmanuel Forbes. I mean, AJ Brown had dusted him in both games this year, and like pretty much sent that man after the first game to a sports psychologist. Man, I mean, he was all wrapped up in his head, and that's what I'm saying is that like I think Emmanuel Forbes still has plenty of potential, and he was just outmatched against AJ Brown. But like I said, he's a rookie, just like Eli Ricks is a rookie, and I just don't want to bite off more than we could chew. I think he can contribute on this defense. I just think relying fully on him to stop CeeDee Lamb, that's asking a lot, man.
Yeah. Adam Michael Gibbs chimes in. He says, "Gotta make someone else beat us. CD should be getting doubled all night." Now, if you look at the numbers here, this is this is one of my topics here. But Adam just doing the Lord's work for me. He says, but CeeDee Lamb versus Eagles secondary is a topic of conversation that I would like to bring up. But Adam did it anyway. What's our plan?
This is his career numbers first.
This is this week. This is this season. He's got 46 receptions, 633 yards.
He's not at 900 yards yet, bro. Get your stats up, bro. What are you doing? Got falling asleep?
But this is how their offense is set up now. CeeDee Lamb, he's got 46 receptions, 633 yards, 3 touchdowns. The rest of the wide receivers all together, 49 receptions, 517 yards, 3 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb has caught 46 of 56 targets. That's 82%, 82.1% rate. Leads the NFL. So if it's coming his way, he's usually.
I got a stat for you too. How about the fact that AJ Brown in the month of October had more receiving yards than CeeDee Lamb has his entire year? How's that one for you?
I like that one. See, this is what the banter goes. This is what it's for. You come back with some really great numbers. But again, like my thing is, we went through this with Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Where else do we do this with? Offenses that were pretty much heavily,
like a wide receiver.
We had a Cheetah in the building.
Tyreek.
We do we had Scary Terry, who kind of, he put up some numbers, but he kind of took himself out of the equation.
Thank God for that drop, bro.
two drops. So I think, not to say that CD's it's gonna be a walk in the park, but I think they should have a plan for him. Because after that, what are we talking about? Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks he's cooked, bro. He's ass.
No, he's not bad. We've seen him get put to sleep. Tim
Perkins brings up Jake Ferguson. Are you worried at all with our linebackers versus their tight end? Dallas, I'll give them credit. They always got a decent tight end.
Ferguson, I was very high on him at the Senior Bowl. To see them move off Dalton Schultz kind of like confirmed it. Mm-hmm. I do think I'm not gonna say he's a world beater either, but he's definitely serviceable. And I think even serviceable dudes have been getting off on our linebackers. So, I'm trying to get right here. Our safeties, Blankenship, has had. I'm gonna say he's been giving up a couple passes a game versus tight ends. It started week 1.
Yeah. I think that Reed Blankenship's coverage has been exposed this year. With that being said, there's guys that they get beaten coverage, and that happens. But for Reed Blankenship, he had a bad game, but to still have a bad game, and you throw that little interception in there, like it softens the blow. As far as like if you're able to find a way, if you've played bad all game, but you're able to get right for one play and turn the ball over. That's better than just getting burned to a crisp ball game. Yeah, Kerry Williams shit.
It just is what it is. I just know I'm looking at it every week.
Yeah. No,
I'm
it's
looking
that,
at
and if I'm an offensive coordinator, that is where I'm attacking.
now talking about strengths to their line. Shout out to Daz in the building. Um, let's be real. This is probably one of the best offensive lines that we're going to go up against this for the season. I mean, when you look left to right, Tyron Smith, obviously, getting along in the tooth, but definitely a veteran that you have to you gotta pay respect to. Tyler Smith, Cowboy fans have said he's having a phenomenal year for them. He's doing
And that's an unbiased group to ask.
but they said he's been a surprise, like Deron Bland has been for
Got
them.
all our Tylers
Tyler
and what is
Tyler
going on?
Smith has done a great job. Tyler, their center, I'm not gonna even
Be
kill that
added.
last. I'm not gonna even kill his last name. But Tyler, their center, not the creator, but the center. He's a guy that I feel like if we're talking about one of their weaknesses, I think that's we could get off on there on the interior.
Jeff saying Tyron's on a pitch count this week.
Could be, yeah. It's very possible.
A tackle?
Yeah. Well, he's coming back from a stinger, but I think Zach Martin, love Zach Martin all the way from back when he got drafted from Notre Dame. But I do think Terrence Steele, who's been solid for them, I think that's versus Hassan or any other. I think Sweat should get busy on a Tyron Smith. I think that's
what I was just about to say. I mean, if Tyron Smith's coming back from injury, dude, I think that Josh Sweat. I don't know what it is. I don't know why Josh Sweat doesn't get the publicity nationally that he deserves. I mean, he absolutely balled out last year. What do you have, like 11, 12 sacks last year? And he's on a similar pace this year. Like, I'm starting to think that Josh Sweat is getting robbed of being a household name among, national people. Not to mention, he's got the killer celebration, man.
Who's this? Sweat? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Josh Sweat. That's what I'm saying. I feel like he doesn't get his flowers on a national level. But like you said, him versus Tyron Smith, especially with Tyron Smith, if he is on some sort of pitch count, and he's going to have his hands full with Josh Sweat.
Trey says the opposing tight end has been eating. Do we give Evans a chance? Evans is still on IR, isn't
he? Yeah, I don't think he's playing.
Well, I think when he comes back for depth, that'd be nice. Let's see here. Adam says, I'm so excited how well Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are playing this season. Would like to see Nolan Smith get more snaps. Sweat and Reddick are beast. I do think someone, a beat writer, asked Sirianni if Nolan Smith was going to get more reps. He said he's going to continue with his same role. I think you slowly work him into, like, again, on third down.
We're working him in at a snail's pace, though, man. If I'm being honest, like,
let him rip.
Let him rip, bro. I can't get right. Let's switch their roles here, in my opinion.
There's some guys in front of him.
I think Barnett's getting like 24% of the snaps, and what's Nolan Smith getting, like 4%? I wouldn't mind flip flopping that.
You got the Eagles snap count.
I looked at it earlier.
Let's see. Defensively, snap percentage. It's a lot of dead air right now.
Well, I mean, thankfully we have the city of New York to.
You hear those sirens?
Oh, I hear those sirens. All right.
Those sirens in New York can be a little maddening. A lot going on in Times Square right now. Dustin says Josh Sweat's numbers mirror Parsons this year, and he gets a little credit. Now, I did see a tweet recently with their numbers. Again,
I got Nolan Smith at playing 9.3% of snaps so far this year, and we've got where's Can't Get Right. Where's he at? Oh. Where are you at?
This guy with the drawn out.
He is at 19.6%.
Who's this? Barnett?
Derek Barnett is at 19.6% of defensive snaps so far this year. And then Nolan Smith is at 9.3%.
I mean, he's got
roughly 10% more of snaps Derek Barnett is playing.
All right, we'll take 5% away from.
Take 10% away. Maybe flip-flop.
All right, well, that's what it is. Shout out to Marissa in the chat. She said she's so excited for this game. She's been wearing my Philly gear in Dallas. She's been repping hard from Dallas. We've seen her repping hard in the comments and repping hard for the Eagles out in enemy territory. We're going to be down there me and Prime will be down there for the Dallas game. So we are like no holds bar. Now, if we want to take a trip, shout out to Philly Sports Trips. You can book a trip with them, phillysportstrips.com. Always setting up a really good vibe. But we're going into the belly of the beast in Kansas City. We don't care. And then we're going into Dallas, and we don't care. And then I'm going to Seattle because I don't care. So this is 3 stadiums to cross off my list, and then we're getting dubs. So
I love it.
We're getting dubs.
We're
getting dubs.
You leave Kansas City with Taylor Swift. Bring her back with another Kelsey.
I like the Kelsey Swift that we have here in Philadelphia.
That's a good answer.
Good answer. Good answer. Marissa says, I'll see you for the Christmas game too. That is interesting. I'm trying to figure out if I'm a degenerate and have a tailgate on Christmas or be like normal people and have Christmas at home. We have a question here from Robert. He says, what concerns do you have for the secondary this upcoming week? How do we bounce back? My thing is, when you have guys like, CD doing his thing, opposite him is Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks. Gallup's got 20 catches on the season, no tutties, 224 yards. Brandon Cooks, 16 catches, 158 yards, 2 tutties. Jalen Tolbert, 7 catches for 71 yards. And then Turpin said 6 catches for 64 yards for TD, but I think on special teams he's a demon. We'll get into that, but I think
that as far as the secondary is concerned, I mean, dude, I feel pretty confident. I think that the game plan essentially should be like Tony Pollard has been. He hasn't wowed anybody this year. I don't think he's been phenomenal. Like I said, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks. I don't think is really. I think he's washed personally. I think that what Dallas needs to do is win with CeeDee Lamb. If you're able to take CeeDee Lamb out of the game, it's a kind of pedestrian offense, man. I think that's how you win. You make them beat you with anybody that's not CeeDee Lamb.
Not worried about their running attack?
I'm actually not.
Not that I'm worried either.
I think that the way I'm not discounting their offensive line. I think that they do have a stout defensive line, but I think we got a pretty stout defensive line. So I think they match up well. And like I said, I think Tony Pollard has been underwhelming so far this year. So if they're not able to get the run game going and we are able to shut that down, make them one-dimensional, make them pass the ball, and then we take CeeDee Lamb out of the game, what are they going to do? They're going to be searching and scrambling for answers, and then that's when we have to
scratching and surviving.
Yep, they're going to have to.
But no good times. Anyone who got that, you're a real one. If you got that one, I just think if you can get up on Dallas early, this is where I need the Eagles to be. With Hassan just unleashing off the edge, Brock Purdy style. The way that he got, the way that Matthew Stafford got thrown around, I'd like to see it. The thing is, Cowboy fans are really talking about Dak's athleticism as of late. They say Dak Prescott he's been running around, showing the athleticism. You can't be mad at that. If he feels like he's back to his old self, okay, we'd like to see it here in Philly. But that's what Cowboy fans have been saying. I have some numbers here. Would you like to hear them?
I would love to hear some numbers.
Dak Prescott has had so much success against the NFC East. He is 28-7 overall in his career, and 8-3 specifically versus the Eagles.
I mean, listen. Obviously, I'm going to sound biased here, but I think that those numbers are a little bit skewed. He's played against some backups in those. Listen, I'm being a hater ass Eagles fan. He's had success against us. I'm not gonna lie, he's had success against us, and it's really a thorn in my ass. The fact that he has won as many times as he has against us, and that's exactly why. That's exactly why I view this game as big as I do. Last year we had Dak versus Gardner Minshew, and we had Jalen versus whoever the hell was there. Cooper Rush was their backup at the time. I think that this is the most complete Eagles team versus the most complete Dallas team that we have seen. With everybody healthy, so. I would love nothing more than to watch the Eagles win this game and just shut the Dallas Cowboys fans up for, at least 30 minutes. They don't shut the hell up.
I mean, that's the only way that you get them from stopping the chatter. Is if the Eagles beat them,
you gotta beat them.
When they beat them.
But it's just going to go turned into, oh, well, he's still 8-4 versus you guys. What the hell?
And again, it is what it is. Like you really just have to get, stop the chatter. The only way you stop the chatter is you get a W, and that's how easy it is. You stop the chatter because looking at our schedule here, like at the bottom of the screen here, we have the Cowboys. Then we have a bye, which is nice. I need a bye badly. Week 11 at the Chiefs. Week 12, the Bills. Week 13, the 40 Niners. Week 14, back at the Cowboys. Then week 15 at Seahawks. That's like if you were a band on a concert going on a tour. Like this is a serious tour. These are serious cities.
I feel like you started that analogy and then you didn't know where to go with it.
Well, I feel like I'm on a band.
But wouldn't every tour for a band be a serious tour?
Not cities. These are some real serious cities.
All right, we're going to Red Rocks. We're performing at it's that one Madison Square
Garden. Some big places that we're going to or come. Obviously the Bills, 49ers at home. But Seahawks, Cowboys, and Chiefs on the road, that's a tour T-shirt.
Yeah, no, that is a tour T-shirt for sure. Dude, I think that we are the best team in the NFC. So I see win, game versus the Chiefs, win.
Dan says, "I hope that we piss pound them." That's an interesting phrasing.
Is that like drop a pound of piss on them?
It's a piss poor performance.
Okay.
Maybe. Unhappy Gilmore chimes in. He says Dallas has to dominate defensively in order to win. When their defense can't control the game, they struggle. And this is where I'm at. Like, if we can have our way, like Burger King on the outskirts, and the field is open, I feel like Goddard can have his way as well.
Yeah.
Swift too, man. Like I think last week when we only ran him one time for 3 yards, and this is what I'm saying. Like we got to run the ball, like keep it balanced a little bit.
I agree with you, and that's what I would like the Eagles to do. But just the way Nick Sirianni talks, it gives me the impression that he wants us to be a pass first team. And we have the wide receivers to be able to be a pass first team, but we also have the offensive line and running ability to be a well-balanced team. And that's why I don't know why we don't lean more in that regard. But I don't know, man. Do you think he's trying to get Jalen that MVP? Like, what do you think he's doing?
Well, my other thing is, ever since Jalen's been little banged up a little bit. The running game has been a little bit, because you have that running ability on some of these, you know that he's not taking off with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to respect that on some of these plays. But I think you still can't go away from it. This is the interesting thing for me. Scoring average right here. Cowboys are at 281. 28.1 points.
How numbers work, dog?
I have a
math anxiety.
I have a math disability, and you're going to make fun of my disabilities on live. I am diagnosed with math disability. Oh, anyway, scoring average here, NFL rank. The Cowboys are at 28.1 points per game. That's second in the NFL. The Eagles are 28 points. That's third.
Who's scoring more? Is it the Dolphins, I guess? Say that 70-point game.
Yeah, they kind of skewed things. Yeah. But I think this is the interesting. It's two offenses that, hey, look, made the best man win.
He's calling you out on your math disorder.
Hey, when I had to sit there in front of a therapist and play with blocks, hey, I had to,
how many blocks you got in front of you, Kale?
I had to go through this. Hey, I didn't have to take a math class in college after that. How about that?
All right, that's pretty solid.
Hey.
No, but yeah, they are two teams that have been scoring a lot. Like you said, though, I think that this is even a little bit skewed because a lot of our scoring, most of our scoring, has come on the offensive side of the ball. Whereas, like you started out the show, you talked about their pick sixes. They've had, I think they've even had a couple like fumble returns for touchdowns. So like they've scored a lot on defense that has skewed that number up. If you're able to play a mistake-free game, that their scoring average is not the same. So they're relying on their defense a lot for points this year.
They were bragging about how Deron Bland had more touchdowns than a lot of wide receivers out there in the league.
He's got as many touchdowns as CeeDee Lamb. That's what I don't get. Yeah. They keep on bringing it up. He's like, oh, you got that. I saw the exact thing that you're talking about. And there was this one person that commented and was like, oh, our corner has more touchdowns than Devontae Smith, who also has 3. And it's like, first of all, math anxiety on their end too. 3, same as 3. It's not more than 3. And CeeDee Lamb has the same amount. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Ursa says, I see Hassan brutally sacking Dakota multiple times. I always feel like when he hits them, there's like the power and level of like Temple's behind them. Have you ever seen? Yeah. You ever see? I mean, Evan's seen Temple's campus.
Yep.
Like that isn't like the most.
It's a cool spot. Temple tough.
Shout out to my godson JC. I brought him to a football camp at Temple.
Nice.
And he was performing out there. And then I was looking at the campus, like, God damn.
I actually think Temple's campus is really nice.
Well, the campus, but like
the area kind of.
But I feel like he's always bringing the energy of Temple in every sack that he. It's just a great thing to see.
Like like if that's her bold prediction for the game that Hassan's going to have his way, have multiple sacks. What do you give me a bold prediction for the game? What do you think? Because I got one. Or if you want to think about one, I could tell you mine.
A bold prediction. I think AJ he sets the tone and he breaks the record again. He breaks his own record. Yep. I think no one's checking him right now.
I like that. I think we're going to get Dak's season interceptions. We're going to increase that by 2. I see 2 Dak picks. One of them is going to come at a crucial point in the game where it's a real turning point, and all things start to go right for the Eagles. And then the second interception is going to be one of those garbage time guys where he's just scratching and clawing for life, and he ends up just chucking a punt down the field, and we end up intercepting the ball to ice out the game.
Nice. I like that. I like that. You spoke a lot into existence there, but I like that. Shout out to Ivan. I've seen Ivan all over the country this year, from LA to our tailgates to at the live casino where he got his hat signed by Brandon Graham. So he had a great moment. He had the hat that was the signature Brandon Graham hat, and he sees Brandon Graham, and I say, he's over there. And he says, I'm going to get it signed. And then he gets his hat signed. He had a great night. And then the Birds won, so he's living the dream right now. But he says,
great in the world.
Ivan says we need to be efficient in the red zone.
You're not kidding.
Efficient, capital letters. I do think, like I said on the last pod, the last time we fumbled in the red zone, had 2 fumbles down there by the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
Like 20 years, dude. Like we haven't, that's kind of like, imagine if they scored there twice, we'd be thinking that our red zone.
Ronnie Brown tried pitching the ball back, right? Is that Ronnie Brown?
It was a pass. Yeah, it was like a pass.
Yeah.
But not pass.
Anytime we're fumbling inside of the 5, that's just where my mind goes back to Ronnie Brown. But yeah, those were obviously two interceptions that hurt us. But I think that like the turnovers that the Eagles have had this year kind of speaks to just their resilience and how good of a team they are, because it's been out of character for us. We've had fumbles, we've had interceptions, and Jalen Hurts didn't really turn the ball over much at all last year. He had 0 lost fumbles and 6 picks. We're already past that. I think he's at 10 total turnovers now, 8 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles. But the fact that we are 7-1 with those stats existing, I mean, we have been winning in spite of making mistakes, in spite of turning the ball over, and we've been playing good teams too. So, I'm not saying that it's okay if we turn the ball over. I'm saying that we're so good of a team that we're still able to overcome that. So, I don't think much changes here. I think your best case scenario is you don't turn the ball over, and then I don't see any way that we don't win. You win the turnover battle, you win the game. I think it's that simple in this game.
The funny thing is, the way that we've been turning the ball over, like if we don't turn the ball over, some 4 turnovers against the Jets, we win. Bob from Down Under says, "Oi, did Eagles PR contact you about filming their tailgate series? You might want to head over and support Eric Wayne for breakfast on Sunday and meet and greet." I see Eric all the time. I see he's one of the first faces I see on game day, as we're all in line and we're looking at each other. Why are we in line this early? But it's a whole other subculture of Eagle fans there that you don't know existed. There's I need to be first in line.
Yeah.
Show me respect because I've been here at 3:30 in the morning.
I'm a big fan of the stadium workers all arrive at the same time, and then they all just do like their giant walk through our tailgate. Just a bunch of stadium workers. Like, I guess time for you guys to clock in. Get your asses in there.
I'm not gonna call anyone out. Some will
Lexi.
grab some not Lexi, but some will grab beers.
Hey, they're welcome too.
Yeah, of course. Always love the people. Let's see here. Todd says, "So Gail, you're saying you was something like Forrest Gump in your heyday? Was Forrest Gump good
at ping pong?" Oh, I think he was fast as fuck. I think that's what he's talking about.
4.39 guy. Come on. 4.39. I'll put that on my.
Do you think you would have been able to get Sergeant Dan out of active war zone as bombs are dropping?
I probably could.
Okay.
Have you ever seen me in Call of Duty?
Okay.
Dustin says Cowboys offense is definitely skewed by the short fields. The defense is giving them play clean, no turnovers, and we win it. It can be that simple. It can be that simple when you put it that way. Not turning the ball over, time of possession. It all plays into a good formula. Because I don't know. It's weird that Eagle fans, we're 7-1, right? But the way that you would listen to talk radio, you would think that this team is like 3-4.
Can I be honest though? Like it was the same thing last year, and I just don't get it. Like there was people throughout the entire run last year, that were honestly concerned about, oh, well, we really haven't played anybody yet, blah, 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 blah. And like there was that, I feel like all the way up until the point where we got into the Super Bowl, there was people that weren't fully bought in and thinking that we were some sort of like flimsy team. And I'm just looking at it like, okay, well, we're repeating the same thing this year. We're doing the same shit. We're dominating teams. We're, just winning games. And there's still just that kind of weariness out there. I just don't get it, bro. Dive in. The water's fine. The Eagles are good. It's okay.
Well, I mean, I think if the Dolphins win didn't do anything, make it move a little bit for you, then okay, that was cool. But I think this is the game where this. If I'm just saying for the fans that are in that state, this is the game for them to make a move.
Mm-hmm. I honestly think too, and this is me also speaking it into existence. I think that those interceptions that Jalen has thrown so far this year have been uncharacteristic of him, and for him to only throw 6 last year, I mean, there was long stretches where he wasn't throwing any, and I think the same sort of thing can happen now. I mean, the last game he had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'm putting it out into the universe that Jalen Hurts is going to have a nice stretch of games here where he doesn't turn the ball over at all. Starting with last week.
Monster performance, NFC Player of the Week. Was that NFC Player of the Week?
Not to be confused with NFC Player of the Month,
which was won by AJ
Brown.
Ryan says, when you guys go to KC, do you think you guys can help me get some signatures from the players? There's a will is a way. If you hit me up, I can try and tell you where the players are going to be, at what hotel, because that's where you can meet a lot of the players. Or once you figure out where they're staying, you can stay in the same hotel,
get a bellboy outfit,
and when you're
go to their room, act like room service.
When you're in the elevator, like, hey, Sirianni, didn't see you here. But
I've just been hanging out in the elevator for 6 hours.
That's the way. 843 Philly fan says, when Reddick sacks the QB, he goes straight for the ball to knock it loose. Knocked it out of Howell's hand. That was perfect, man. The closer. I was like, he needs to be the closer for the Phillies because of the way that he's playing. Just line him up there in the 9th inning.
I mean, that's he does the same thing that won us the Super Bowl through Brandon Graham's knockout. Just go straight for that ball.
Bob from Down Under says, I'd like to see Hurts make it through a game without a turnover. Feels like he's averaging 2 per game.
That's not far off. I mean, he's got 10 this year, and it is kind of far off. We're 8 games in, and he's got 10, so almost 1 per game, a little bit more than 1 per game.
Marissa makes the mention of 0 penalties. I was kind of shocked that we had 0 penalties. I almost felt sorry for us, but I think maybe the NFL was trying to give us some love from the Super Bowl.
No, take that back right now. We played disciplined. There was no gimmies that was going on here.
Edgar chimes in. He says, hopefully Slay and Bradbury don't give up big plays and strap their wires. I just think my thing is when certain players get Cheeto scored a touchdown on us. There's certain players that are going to get theirs, and it's a part of.
Yeah, but that is those players that are gonna get. I'll let you finish.
Cheetah, he's gonna get his. Scary Terry, we always
no.
One. Scary Terry can get 1.
I just think that Scary Terry is not on there's tiers. There's levels to this scale.
Right.
I think that Tyreek Hill is a guy that you look at and you're like, he's gonna get his. There's not much you could do about it. You could try and soften it as much as you want. And I think the Eagles did a good job of doing that. But then there's like a guy like Scary Terry. I think that is a guy realistically that you can take out of a game. I don't know. I just I hold the guys that are going to have their way as, top 5 players at their position in the league. I think that AJ Brown is one of those guys that can the Cowboys are kind of just looking at this yo, we just need to do everything we can to stop everyone that's not AJ Brown because he's kind of going to have his way.
Shout out to Jesse Wines. See, I'm doing 3 things at one time. Liz asked, "What time is the tailgate for Sunday?" I'm literally texting as we speak. I'm trying to figure out.
That doesn't help out Liz, pal. We're probably going to get down there, what, like 9:30, 10?
So I get the tailgate thing back, and it says 10:30 to 3:30. Is that cool?
I recommend if you want a parking spot that you get there before 10:30. That's what I'm going to say, Liz. Otherwise, you could reach out to me, and I will tell you about my secret free parking spot if you don't got anything to carry. Frugal Gang for life.
Yeah, but shout out to Jesse Wines doing a great job with our graphics for all the tailgates you see out there. Doing a lot of graphics out there for a lot of people in the industry. So if you're looking for a graphic guy, shout out Jesse Wines.
No, Jesse's the boy, bro.
Jesse Wines. He's putting out some really great work. You got a shout out from Foot Locker.
No shit.
Who gets hit up by Foot Locker? Hey,
What'd they say to him?
You got to wear some Timberland boots. You paid. He's also the new
modeling now.
Yeah. New model for
Mitchell and Ness.
Mitchell and Ness. How do we get that kid?
I guess we got to lose some weight.
Hey. But if you guys have any questions, bring them up before we get out of here. But now Mercer says Philly media is the worst. I only listen to the past players who are now in the media. I try not to take in too much radio. I do love to listen to Jason Avant and Quentin Michael. The Q&A show is one of my favorites because it's one offensive guy, one defensive guy talking ball, and they're giving their and Jason Avant. Last time we did mention we're going to the link. Last time I was at the link that I got a tour. Jason Avant was our tour guide, and I got to talk to him the whole tour, and he just getting an opportunity to listen to him speak. I'm just soaking it all in. Because when those kind of guys talk, you listen. Because he was also helping out the wide receivers with the Eagles, and just getting them acclimated to the city. So the amount of information Avant gives you on his pod is very good.
AJ seconds that.
Shout out to Todd Hermans and Trey Thomas. They have a new pod show coming out. It's called Rewind, where they're just out there sipping on some wine, having a good time. We got to talk to Todd Hermans at the Philly Sports Chips tailgate last week. Super cool guy. Seems like he's in a really great space. Like when you get to see veterans that are really doing well. It's awesome.
He's doing something with cannabis too, isn't he?
He was doing something.
I talked to Todd Hermans years ago when I was working at 94.1, and Todd's the man, bro. From what I remember from that, he's a really cool, down to earth dude. Yeah,
very cool. Very genuine. Great interaction. I'm hoping to get him on the show.
That'd be great.
So we can pump him up. Liz says other teams are 6-2, and their fans are talking Super Bowl. We're 7-1, and we're talking firing people and jumping off a bridge. We're crazy. No, I do. I just feel like you got to appreciate the moment, man. We're 7-1. This is, again, we're going through this gauntlet that everyone talks about. That's where, hey, if the Eagles drop one, they drop one. But it's still.
Dude, the people that were talking about firing Brian Johnson after one loss, I was looking, you guys got to chill the fuck out, bro.
I mean, let's look at this here. Shout out to Josh Tolentino. He has a list here. Eagles Brian Johnson's offense ranks total offense 3rd, rush offense 7th, pass offense 7th, points per game 3rd, Third down efficiency, which I love. That's a good stat. Number one. Number
mean,
one. Number one.
all the haters are going to say that's because of the tush push, but you got to get into a position to push the tush. Go ahead.
Push. I'll fucking do it again. Okay. I'll fucking do it again. Got it locked and loaded. But his fourth down efficiency, second red zone efficiency. I could Ivan, the red zone efficiency is 18th. That is where we can get.
That's where we fire him. That's why we fire him.
We can dip it low. We can get lower on that. I mean higher or lower.
I know.
What I mean.
But yeah, so like how you said, we are in total offense, we're third. You put out there that we are averaging 28 points a game. And for anybody that wants to oust this guy, I understand that he hasn't been super efficient in the red zone, but ultimately the points are going up on the board and the wins are going in the win column. So there's no point in rocking the boat right now.
So I can't go without showing love to Sean Desai. Total defense, 8th. Rush defense, 1st. Rush defense, 1st. Pass defense, 26th now. Okay. That needs some work there, guys. Points per game, 19th.
Some work.
Sacks.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Now this pressure, everyone loves pressure stats. We are second in the league in pressures defensively. Third down defense, we are 25th. Fourth down defense, we are 7th. Red zone defense, 26th. That could use some work. So after seeing these numbers, where are you at in your feels?
Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you off air exactly where I'm in my feels, unrelated. But I'm actually surprised at how everybody is complaining about the offensive coordinator after seeing how those stats pair up back to back. I mean, Sean Desai has been, I think, phenomenal so far this year. But if you look at offensively, our stats, we're ranking higher on offense than we are on defense across the major categories. Brian Johnson, if you look at those stats, has been doing a pretty good job. It's just the red zone efficiency that we're kind of tail spinning here for. But like I said, I don't think that there's any reason for any rash decisions. You just got to keep it as it is and keep on winning, man.
Wealthy Mind says you look like Mac Miller, the late Mac Miller.
I respect that very much. Thank you.
I have a couple songs in my playlist. Nanzu Fodi, he said, is it true that Rocky statue was dressed up with the Dallas Sucks?
It was, yes.
If you want to see my phone. If you want to see the phone.
He's got to exit out all the porn he's got up right now.
Yeah. That was this morning.
That's Mr. Balboa.
So we got a tip and we posted it, and then people thought we were out there. But hey,
if anybody knows me, I don't wake up that early, so it definitely wasn't me.
Yeah, so that's what happened. And again, are we cursed? We won a Super Bowl. Okay. Trey says AJ took a knee shot last year. Expect more dirty tackles from Dallas again.
That's something I'm worried about. I want everybody to come out of this game healthy on both sides of the ball, both teams.
Todd chimes in and says, I believe Slay and the fellas are going to use that bulletin board material that the Cowboys for wide receivers have been laughing at them to completely lock them down. If you're not ready to compete in a rival game, this is it. You take everything. Yeah. What did Dak say about honey, pouring honey on him?
Yeah, no. So someone had said something about I think it was Jerry Jones said that it was either Jerry Jones or McCarthy said something about not wanting to poke the bear. And then they asked Dak Prescott in the conference, like, yo, so-and-so said that they don't want to poke the bear this week. What are your thoughts on that? And then Dak Prescott said, oh, well, if that's poking the bear, I'm just going to pour honey all over myself. I guess alluding to the fact that, bring it on. That's essentially what he's saying.
Shout out to Kiki in the building. Ivan says, like Yale said, we're never going to have the perfect game. I just want the W, however. My thing is, you're never going to have the perfect game. Sometimes you do, but that's just not what football is.
And I got the perfect example for you. The Super Bowl that we won, our coup de grace, the greatest game all of us have ever watched. Brady threw for over 500 yards. It wasn't a perfect game by our defense, but we won. And that was the ultimate thing. We partied on Broad Street. You think I was giving a shit about 505 yards thrown against us as we are hoisting up the Lombardi Trophy? I don't care, dude. You won the game. That's all I care about.
You won the game, and they won it on my birthday. So everything aligned perfectly. That's the kind of dubs you want. Hey, at the end of the day, it's never going to be the perfect game. But at the end of the day, we got a Super Bowl. So you can, I could, I'm not going to speak that and say, I'm just happy that I have one. Evan had one in his 20s, so he's excited. He's excited.
My grandparents both got to see one. All my grandparents. That was cool.
That's awesome. But before we get out, I just want to give a shout out to Bud Light, who's sponsoring the tailgate. Always bringing up the suds. They're always been supportive of us. These Kelly Green Bud Light cans have been insane. I don't want to give them away. I just want to keep all of them. Shout out to Conshohocken Italian Bakery.
Your mic's off, bro. But yeah, your mic's all jacked up. But I will talk about the fact of Conshohocken Bakery always hooking us up with some tomato pies. We had like 7 they gave us at the last tailgate, all with these beautiful illustrations, done on them. Nobody does it like Conshohocken Bakery, man. I mean, they are always a photo op anytime we bring them out at the tailgate.
Judy says, "Fly, Eagles, fly." Lizette chiming in. She says, "Go Birds." She's excited. Let's see here. Shout out to Red Bull. Red Bull, who's our new sponsor. So if you like Red Bull and vodka, this is a perfect opportunity. We even have
Red Bull and Red Bull.
This guy. I mean, Evan has got his share of Red Bull these days. He's a happy guy. I haven't seen Evan this happy in a long time, but ever since Red Bull came along, it's given Evan his wings.
New life for sure. Hey, I like what you did there.
Hey, come on. But shout out to Red Bull. We're still working on seeing if we can get the DJ monster truck there. Look at Lowski in the back. Shout out to Lowski, only Lowski, and Headtrip. And Alex will be in attendance.
Yes, he will. I don't know what he's making, though.
I didn't know if
I hope he doesn't need rolls because I already put my order.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm flyer time. I'm like, I wasn't sure what to put on flyer. If he's just coming for vibes, that's cool too.
That's cool. Yeah.
I don't even have a ticket for the game. Ever, you don't have a ticket for the game? Ticket prices are bananas right now.
I know. I'm frugal gang.
So,
life,
pro tip: wait till the very end of the game. Wait for the very right before the game to buy your tickets.
Or depending on how, like, as soon as that game starts, you could be waiting in line, and you could wait until the game actually starts, and then anybody that is holding on to a ticket that wants to sell, they start to go into panic mode once that game starts, and they just want anything for it. So they drop dramatically. Just saying, if you want to wait, maybe you can still get in the first quarter, fraction of price.
Versus Chimes, this is, "I love my city, just not the Cowboys. Fly, Eagles, fly." Hey, when you come to Philly, then you're just like, "I love this city even more."
Mm-hmm.
Todd says, "I'm wearing a Ginger Jesus Wentz fit." Yeah,
you are kind of Wentzed out right now.
Hey man, I'm come on, I'm coordinating. I'm coordinating. Come on now, coordinating.
Right.
We'll see, man. Also, shout out to the London folks. We had Liam on the last podcast. If you don't realize how fired up Eagle fans are about their team all over the world,
Bro, they're staying up all hours of the night to just watch a regular season.
Right. We had a conversation with Liam, and he's saying, "What time is it when you guys watch Eagle games?"
Normal hours.
I was gonna start talking like Denzel Washington. You guys are complaining about night games. They're watching Eagle games at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning is what time.
Yeah, it's when it ends. Yeah.
These Eagle fans are watching in London, in Ireland. So I don't want you to complain about having to work the next day, staying up for a Sunday night football game.
He's talking about how, and you have to think too that it's out of the ordinary for you to be an American football fan in London. So, like, you think any of these people's bosses care that they were up all night watching an Eagles game? They don't care. These people are watching it till 5 o'clock in the morning, turning around, getting 3 hours of sleep, and then showing up for a 9 o'clock meeting.
This is crazy.
Dedication. Yeah.
Shout out to Bob as well in Australia watching the Eagles game.
Hold on a second. Hold the phone. I thought daylight savings time was over. Is it still going on?
Sunday we rolled it back.
But I thought daylight savings was over. I thought that was no longer happening.
I don't know. You tell me.
I thought I was telling you. So
I have a math disability. Yeah. The numbers.
It's not even math. It's just. God, this guy.
Don't ask me, guy. Don't ask me.
But Trey is talking about exactly what I was saying. You buy at you wait till 450. That game starts at what, 425? You wait till 450. Talking 75% off.
Trade day making a lot of sense. But let's see. Before we get out,
I think that
this is truth.
What?
Breaking news here.
Rotates. You have to.
It's over next year. They haven't passed the bill.
I thought it did get passed. All right, that's my bad.
Breaking a lot of news. So, and we're gonna get an extra hour. So for those people that are, I got a lot of tailgating prep to do. I will be leaving New York City to go back to Delaware in an hour after this pod. It's a good time. We had a lot of good time with you people in the comments. Thank you for sticking around and talking about the birds. This is just the beginning.
Quick prediction before we get out of here?
Yeah, we could do that.
I'm going to say, I already said my bold prediction that Dak's going to throw 2 picks. I'm going to say the Eagles win 31-20.
I'm going to go 34-27.
Okay. I like it.
Michael Parsons is talking about taking over the link. That's not happening.
Yeah,
not happening.
Dude, he grew up like relatively in the area. I think as an Eagles fan, you would know that that's not possible.
Yeah. Mark says 35-23. We usually say Mark from Oregon, but Mark is in Philly right now. And he's coming to the link tomorrow. If there is anyone that wants to come to the link for the tour, let me know. I got one spot open here. Shout out to AJ. She says 38-34 Birds. Todd says 31-3.
Wow.
Trey says 44 Eagles, Cowboys 6. Kiki keeps it straight. She says Eagles win. She sleeps well at night. Ivan says Eagles W. However,
I'm with it.
Liz she's saying okay. Meet at the link at 12:30 tomorrow, and we're all going for a tour with the London folks. It'll be great to see their faces as they walk in the link for the very first time. For the Birds Fly Home event with Philly Sports Trips, they're gonna have a good time. We're gonna show them the city. I seen on Twitter they're gonna send us a bottle of some kind of alcohol.
That's nice. I'm not trying to dampen any expectations, but I will not be making an English breakfast at the tailgate. Your stewed tomatoes and beans for breakfast. It's just not very American.
Well, last word, Evan. What is your last word before we get out of here?
My last word is pretty much just reiterating what my first word was. This is the biggest game so far this year. Can that taxi shut the hell up? I'm trying to get my last word. This is the biggest game so far this year. I want nothing more than for the Dallas Cowboys fans to have nothing to say, and for them to essentially just be, back to their pit of misery. That's where I like to see them. That's where the cockroaches belong. So I am all in. Go Birds, and let's handle business.
My last word before I get out of here. Shout out to all your people in the comments or listening to the podcast tomorrow or when it's posted. Shout out to Prime. Shout out to Hollis as well and Mal. Shout out to Alex who's coming to the tailgate to maybe cook. Shout out to Jesse Wands again for the graphics, and shout out to that too, and a shout out to Crafty Bastard who changed his name to Crafty Jawn. And other than that, that's enough for the shout outs. But
C&D, pal. C&D.
But yeah, just wanted to just say, hey, it's Dallas week. Bring the energy. Keep the stadium hype. The energy has to be at an all-time level. If you haven't seen a Hassan Reddick sack live to close out a game, you haven't lived. Okay, so that has been the new vibe right now. I'm looking for a Julio Jones touchdown in the corner of the end zone to relive the moment in the playoffs, but now he's with us. I'm looking for an A.J. Brown touchdown anytime. I'm looking for Jalen Hurts to give us an MVP performance. Other than that, we'll see you guys soon. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.